Greetings, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we're going to fire up the Big Joe with some 2-zone cooking and cook a batch of beer braised brats. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take 2 of my Kamado Joe fire starters and put them on 1/2 of a charcoal pile here on the Big Joe, and I'm going to use my torch. We're going to light these up and we're going to let the cubes burn for about 10 minutes with the lid fully open. After my fire gets going here, I've set the other half of the grill in the lower position. I've got 1/2 in the upper position. We're going to leave the bottom vent fully open. I'm going to close the lid, and then I'm going to close the slider and leave the daisy wheel fully open, and we're going to let this come up to 400 degrees or so. Okay, after our grill starts to get good and warm, I'm going to set my 10-inch cast iron skillet right over the hot side here, and we're going to close the lid up and let that preheat for 10 minutes or so. After our cast iron pan gets preheated, we're going to toss in about 1/2 stick of butter and let this melt. When that butter gets melted, I'm going to toss in 1 onion that I've just chopped very coarsely, and we're going to saute this onion until it starts to caramelize. After the onions start to get cooked down, man, those are smelling good. I'm going to dump in 2 cloves of freshly minced garlic and stir that in and let that saute for another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, now that the garlic's been in, I'm going to dump in, I've got 1 julienne red bell pepper, and orange bell pepper. So we're going to saute these in for about 3 more minutes. Okay, those are ready. So the next thing we're going to do is toss our brats in. I've got a pack here of Johnsonville standard brats. They're some of my favorites. We're going to set those right in the pan, and then I'm going to add Sierra Nevada Torpedo. I like a good hoppy beer for this. We're going to pour that in, almost all of it, yeah, the whole bottle, and we're going to let that simmer there over direct heat for a few minutes. Alrighty, after these have been simmering for a few minutes, I'm going to flip these brats, and we're going to let them continue to simmer over direct heat for another 5 minutes or so. Okay, after those brats have simmered for just a little bit longer there, I'm going to take the pan and we're going to move it over to the indirect side of the grill, close the grill up, and keep the grill at about 400 degrees using the top vent. I'm going to just adjust the daisy wheel to get it around 400 degrees, and we're going to let those simmer until that beer almost completely reduces out. After these have been simmering up here over indirect heat for a little while, I'm going to give these brats another flip, and then we're going to let them continue to simmer. Our beer is about halfway rendered out of here, so we're going to let it continue. Okay, folks, these guys are just about ready to move on to the next step. I've got a little bit of that liquid left in there, but I'm not going to reduce it all completely out. The next thing we're going to do is put a little bit of a direct sear on these. I'm going to move each of these brats onto the grill over direct heat and give them about probably 2 to 3 minutes on each side. And then we're going to give each of them a flip. Let them go for a couple of more minutes. And then we're going to return them to the pan, take them inside, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to serve these up. I have prepared a sausage roll here with a little bit of our spicy hot beer mustard that we made a while back. I'll put a link in the video description to that recipe. I'm going to load 1 of my brats into this bun, and then from our pan we're going to take some of our sauteed onions and peppers and line those guys right in here. And that, my friends, is lunch. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy this. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.